You're listening to the Armchair GM Sports Network.
This is Rod Mahood, your in-game voice of the Niagara IceDogs, and you're listening to the Dog Pound Podcast on the Armchair GM Sports Network, your podcast source for all game analysis, team interviews, and up-to-date news regarding the Niagara IceDogs.
Perlini! Overtime! IceDogs win! They score! Verhage was also jamming away. It's a power play goal for the IceDogs. And they score! Hosang, first goal as an IceDog. Strom stops Shipley. Richie scores! Gets it to Akil Thomas. Thomas has the angle coming in. He scores!
Welcome into another Niagara IceDogs game recap right here on the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs. Proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family in all four of their great Niagara region locations. Brandon Caputo and Cam Halbert are with you to break down the IceDogs' tough 4-2 defeat at the hands of the Sudbury Wolves in front of 3,927 at the Meridian Centre for Teddy Bear Toss night. We'll also hear from IceDogs head coach Ben Boudreau on the Wild Bills Auto Repair postgame, as well as Teddy Bear Toss goal scorer Jack Brody on this night, and I'll get more of that in a second. Guys, make sure you give us a follow on X at Dog Pound Podcast. Stay up to date with all of our IceDogs coverage as well. Thank you to everybody listening tonight on the live stream on our Armchair GM Sports Network YouTube channel. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and smash that bell. And thank you to those listening the next day on your favorite on-demand audio platform. So, Cam, you called the Teddy Bear Toss goal correctly with Jack Brody, so all the power to you on that. Tough-fought game by the IceDogs here. A late goal by Sudbury, gave away that point that the IceDogs had earned in this game. Really good contest despite the low shots. It felt almost like a playoff atmosphere. I know it's a divisional game, but Sudbury's a hard team to play against, and the IceDogs put up a good effort tonight.
It definitely felt like a playoff game, and maybe that was because everyone's anticipating that first goal, and it doesn't happen in the first period. But I thought that this one was very tough to get any opportunities. It was very hard checking. There was a lot of chippiness. It definitely felt like a playoff game. It was really fun to watch, honestly, except for the ending, obviously. But really, really enjoyed it. And I think that, again, we saw some strong things happen. Obviously, Flores playing 3-3, but the whole team as a whole, that's always difficult to win that third game. And Sudbury was able to just eke out a win at the end there, but have to give the IceDogs credit. It was one of their better performances, in all honesty.
And before we get into all the game stats and everything like that, Cam, what did you think of the lineup tonight? Again, we're still without the same Matthew Paris, Alex Asadorian, no Charlie Robertson in the net. Owen Flores went with all three games this weekend. He went 3-3, and we'll hear from head coach Ben Boudreau a little bit later. They actually had to take an IV to get himself ready to go for going 3-3. He's exhausted out there, but he really did a good job tonight. And what did you think of, I guess, the way the lineup went tonight?
Well, it's basically what it is now. I think that everything's kind of settled into place, and I don't expect much change unless there's some, sort of a egregious event that takes place over the next few weeks until we get Asadorian or obviously I think we're still ways away from Paris, but I think that I didn't notice Crete very much in this one throughout the game, and there was some rotating at the top line with Lashko and Kevin, but that second line, specifically Zada, we talked earlier at the beginning of the season that Zada was kind of the X factor on the team and really the player that could make the biggest jump year over year. Obviously, Kevin and Ryan were expected to make improvements on their stats over the last couple years, but it was Zada who had a pretty, I would say, disappointing offensive rookie season. And I don't know about right now, but coming into this one, he had 17 points in 22 games. So sneaky, offensive output coming. And now he's kind of solidified himself as that second line center between Wasslin and really Levin over the last little while. So he looks good, and Robrick as well. I think that he's really settled things down, and I think he's becoming the player that the IceDogs really needed him to become.
And Max Crete did, get sat in the game late in that game, and head coach Ben Boudreau was rolling with the 3 lines. Brady Wasslin is a guy that at the last game he was still leading leading in rookie points is what I'm trying to say. So the IceDogs 16-year-old rookie has continued to blossom. Kevin He's scored in both games since he's been back from his 2-game suspension, so that's nice to see as well. And Mike Levin has, although he didn't score tonight, had a couple of grade A scoring chances as well, and he started to catch fire. So even without those guys in the lineup, we're starting to see that they're able to get some goals here and some contributions to at least tread 500, which they did this week, 3 of 6.
I think tonight's game was the best by the defense as well. I thought they had a great performance. Virgilio, Van Vliet was physical. Brody, Scott, they all had their moments, as did Chanowski and Wysick. So I really want to give a shout out to the D corps because, again, they've been quietly extremely reliable. We don't talk about them a lot because they go out and do their job. And tonight I thought they forced Sudbury to the outside and everything. And, Sudbury isn't the same team as they were last year, but Musty is still must watch, and he was impactful in this one. And again, their horses ended up being able to take it home tonight. But I thought that the IceDogs D corps really made it tough on them in their own zone.
We'll get into it with our game stats tonight, brought to you by Gales Gas. Your go-to gas station in the Niagara region, or not just a gas station, they're a local tradition because when it comes to fuel, you're going to Gales with multiple locations across Niagara. Shots 27-25 in favor of the Wolves. The IceDogs led in the third period 14-12 in that sense, but the Wolves had the better shot totals in the first 2 periods. But again, for these two high-powered offenses, for it to only be 27-25, there were some missed nets tonight and some hard physical play, but a low shot total, which is rare between these two clubs.
Well, I believe in Brampton, the last night, they had over 90. So it just kind of goes to show you they were really trying to set some things up. And again, both D corps were really forcing everything to the outside. It was really tough to get in, and there was a lot of block shots. So, again, impressive by both teams. But, yeah, it's funny. When you see low shot totals like that, you think maybe it's a little bit boring. It's a lot of dump and chase. Not a lot's happening. But that wasn't the case. Like I said, this had a playoff atmosphere, and it was a really entertaining game all the way through.
As far as the power play goes, they were perfect on the penalty kill. 2 of 2 were the IceDogs. Power play, once again, they come through with 1, but they had 5 opportunities tonight, and you could definitely see that was an area where if they could have got that second or even a third power play goal, they could have been on the other side and had the 2 points tonight. No,
for sure, and I think that on that first power play goal with Kevin scoring that one, it was fortunate because we really starting to see that, and head coach Ben Boudreau has brought it up before to us in the postgame that that only having one right-handed forward has caused a little bit of issues in that sense. Just that it's obviously strategically they have to figure out on the power play how to make it work. And again, Kevin on his strong side had to catch the puck and then fire it through. Wasn't able to one-time it, but a great job by him to just keep that along the ice to get the power play goal. But yeah, again, I think we see really good puck movement. There was a lot of blocked shots. Like there was a lot of chances. The power play didn't look terrible, and they were able to enter the zone, which has been kind of their issue at times, where they just don't have the clean zone entries. But I think they did all right. The one unfortunate part is the first goal that Sudbury ends up scoring. Really tough because that was a clear, blatant trip on Van Vliet that allowed, I believe, Kieran Walton to get in all alone and then be able to bury it. So unfortunate there for Van Vliet, the non-call. But there was a few on both sides here. But no ref talk here. It was actually a half decent game, I think.
Yeah,
in that aspect.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty good job, given that both these teams can get pretty fired up. So I think the officiating did a pretty good job tonight.
Yeah.
Face-offs stagnant, 29 of 29 for both teams there. Lashko led the way, 16 to 26. Zotto was 6 of 15. Ray was 6 of 14. Galianov 1 of 1. So Lashko continues to be not only one of their best offensive catalysts, but continues to be their main guy on the dot.
Yeah, and he's starting to get a lot of net front presence as well. He got hammered into the goalie in that first period. But, again, he's just causing havoc. He's got that great shot from the face-off dot. And, yeah, when he needs to win a draw, whether it's on the penalty kill or the power play, he's done a great job. He's just been an incredible find for this team. And it'd be really different if we didn't have him. So, just a great job again by him tonight.
Get into our scoring summary tonight, brought to you by the Niagara Employment Help Center, helping people find work in Niagara since 1983. Check out their up-to-date job board at ehc.on.ca to find your next work opportunity today. Late in the first period, Kieran Walton gets that goal, assisted by Quentin Musty late in the opening period, so the IceDogs go that first period without scoring. The IceDogs trailed 1-0 after the first. Was there anything that you noticed that you wanted to talk about in the first other than the goal?
No, again, the goal was extremely unfortunate because both teams played well, but I thought the IceDogs controlled a lot of the play, and they had a few chances. Again, just couldn't get the pucks through. But, yeah, again, Van Vliet got blatantly tripped, and they put the whistles away for that one, and unfortunately they left the period down 1, but it wasn't concerning. They didn't get hemmed in their zone. They weren't getting boat raced or anything, and Flores was having to come up huge. The IceDogs controlled a lot of the play, and it didn't seem like there was no confidence.
And then we got to the second period, and they finally got the goal. Mm-hmm. I was standing in between the benches for another full period on Teddy Bear Toss tonight. They like to make me wait for this one, but regardless, Jack Brody gets the goal from Andre Lashko, and credit to you, Cam. You called Jack Brody scoring the goal. So, what did you think of the defenseman scoring his third goal tonight?
It was a great one-timer, but I think he had a great opportunity in the first too that he just narrowly missed off the rush. But he's I don't know why I thought that it would be him, to be honest, because the defense of the IceDogs doesn't score an awful lot. They are very decent at passing the puck, but usually don't see a lot of the goals. But I don't know. I just had a feeling that he was going to huck one through, and this was a great one-timer. That was a no-doubter. That was a great goal by him, and he has played very well offensively, like sneaky coming into this game. Was, I believe it's 16 points in 21 games. So, again, a far cry from what we've seen over the last few years on the back end, where we really had no defenseman even, close at 0.5 points per game.
He had a great opportunity in the first period.
Yeah, I was just saying that he just missed that off the rush.
So that got the Teddy Bears flying here at the Meridian Centre, and it was for a great cause in front of 3,927. And then as we went on to that, it was Quentin Musty getting the goal from Kieran Walton and Donovan McCoy. That was early in the third period. So the IceDogs gave up a late one in the first and then an early one in the third.
Yeah, and that third one was, Quentin Musty gets that, that goal to go through. That was power play influenced. It was at the end of a power play, I believe, and the Musty one was unfortunate because it was just a first-round NHL player. He kind of was able to get open and set his shot and just beat Flores clean. Again, that's a tough play for any of the goaltender in the OHL to go up against someone of that caliber, and he made a heck of a shot.
He's back with the team for now. We'll see how long that actually lasts. But the San Jose Sharks first-rounder definitely made an impact on tonight's game. Nice for us to be able to see him as two Shark supporters, but we won't go far into that. But regardless, going on into the third period, it was Kevin He for the IceDogs getting the power play goal from Andre Lashko and Ryan Rubrick. A nice little play by Lashko to get that over to Kevin He. Ryan Rubrick gets an assist on that. He's 19th goal and second straight since coming back from his 2-game absence.
Yeah, he got a nice little break for the 2 games and hasn't missed a beat since. It's just great to see him. He hasn't slowed down at all, really, and he's got up to 32 points in 21 games. Like, he's on an incredible pace. He might clip 100 this season, and I think that we thought for sure point per game at least, maybe 70 points, but 100. Again, just like this whole IceDogs team, I don't think we saw it coming at the beginning of the season.
And then it was 2-2 all the way down to that end of that third period almost. The IceDogs had a power play opportunity, couldn't score on it, and it's laid off of a weird play and just a bounce that sometimes goes your way and sometimes doesn't. Nathan Villeneuve throws it out front. It hits off of Rowan Henderson's skate, pops right over top of Owen Flores on the redirection, and it ends up being the game-winning goal for the Wolves with just under 3 minutes to go. Yeah,
very playoff-type goal. It was a gritty game. There was nothing clean getting open, and it was just an ugly one that took to beat Flores. And again, it's tough for them not to get any points in this game, but I think at the long run, they got 3 points in a 3-game a back-to-back-to-back. So I don't think it was devastating, and obviously you want to see better, but at the the tail end of 3 straight games, it happens.
Yeah, they were really running on fumes and had a great effort tonight. And then just one of those weird plays where Nick DeAngelis takes one of those shots, those air shots from his own end, and it goes straight in the net for the empty netter. And again, those are two bounces that sometimes go your way and sometimes don't, that end up being the game winner and the empty netter.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm not upset with the performance here by the IceDogs tonight. I thought they gave the fans and a great performance. And I'll be honest, it was the most close to the most we've had back at the Meridian Centre. And my goodness, I can't wait for the playoffs, because if the city can get behind the team, it's just completely different when you've got 4,000 people in here. And I really hope that the team's performance is rewarded with maybe some fans' trust again, because obviously it's been a couple years, but I think that the team has done a great job. They're battling every night, and there hasn't really been, other than that Erie game, a blowout, a bad night where it's from start to finish. You're like, oh, here we go again. It's been really fun to watch here, and Teddy Bear Toss night was great yet again.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on that real quick? It's a great cause. It's your second time covering it, covering this game and seeing it from the overhead. What did you think of all the Bears flying on the ice?
It's great. It's such a crazy image. I remember my first year as a season ticket holder was 3 years ago, and I had not seen it prior, and so I showed up with my bear, and I really had no idea what to expect, and you just see thousands. Like, it is absolutely crazy, and credit to the staff, because I remember, I don't know if it was the first year or the second year, it was like a 30-minute endeavor, and that's tough, for the fans at the end, and then because the game goes well over 10 p.m. and then you got the players sitting there, especially the other team who just got scored on, right? You're waiting. Credit to the staff tonight, because I think they were done in almost under 15 minutes. They got all 1,000 Bears all wrapped up and got them off the ice. And again, great cause and one of the best games for any team in the OHL to come to. So I know a lot of teams do it in other professional leagues as well, but always very, very fun.
And a very entertaining game here between two Central Division rivals. But we're going to get more post-game reaction from IceDogs head coach Ben Boudreau, as well as Jack Brody after scoring the goal. After the commercial break, we'll be right back on the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs, proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family. We'll be back after this.
Fuel up your day with Gale's Gas Bars. They're your go-to gas station in the Niagara region. Remember, at Gale's, they're not just a gas station, they're a local tradition. Whether you're hitting the road or staying cozy at home, choose Gale's. Gale's Gas Bars provide reliable fuel that keeps you moving. Stop in for quality you can trust and service with a smile. Don't settle for less. Head to Gale's Gas Bars today, because when it comes to fuel, you're going to Gale's! Learn more at gales.ca.
Did you know that the Global Pet Food stores in the Niagara region are all independently owned by members of the local community? We believe that pets are truly part of the family and are a source of joy in everyday homes around the world. Yet that living, loving experience usually doesn't happen all on its own, but takes extra effort to create and maintain. And we want you to know that the owners and staff at Global Pet Foods are always there to help you keep it going, any way we can, because we believe. Proud show sponsor of the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of the Niagara IceDogs. We hope to see you at one of the following locations across Niagara: 3643 Portage Road in Niagara Falls, 160 Highway 20 in Font Hill, as well as 400 Scott Street and 344 Glendale Avenue in St. Catharines. Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family.
Wild Bill's Auto Repair is your local center for auto maintenance and repair in the Niagara region. Since 2012, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop has been helping customers stay safe and confident on the road, knowing their vehicles in top running condition through their services. Located at 7868 Oakwood Drive in Niagara Falls, the garage started as a tribute to the owner's father, William Robert Hunter, who passed away, continuing the same community spirit and high level of service which customers came to expect from him back at Hunter's Auto Repair. Their multi-award-winning auto shop has earned the trust of the Niagara community with its fair treatment of all customers, who can feel confident they'll get the trustworthy advice and repairs during their visit. Their experienced crew loves meeting new people and looks forward to forming a lasting partnership for the care of your cars. To find out more or to book service, contact them today. 905-358-7868 or wildbillsauto.ca. Wild Bill's Auto Repair, helping customers stay safe and confident on the road since 2012.
Are you currently looking for work in the Niagara region? If so, you owe it to yourself to check out the services provided by the Niagara Employment Help Center, located at 6100 Thorold Stone Road in Niagara Falls. Their many free services include a fully staffed resource area open to the public, resume and cover letter writing, local labor market information, job search strategies, assistance with clarifying employment, training, and career goals, employment counseling and job search support, and Better Jobs Ontario information and registration assistance. Check out their website at ehc.on.ca or call 905-358-0021 for more information. The Niagara Employment Help Center, helping people find work since 1983.
This Employment Ontario program is funded by the Government of Ontario.
This is Kevin He.
This is Brady Waslin.
This is Ethan Zadek.
This is Andre Loshko.
It's Owen Flores.
This is the Dog Pound Podcast.
The official podcast of the Niagara IceDogs.
Welcome back to part 2 of today's Niagara IceDogs game recap, right here on the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs, proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family. Brendan Caputo and Cam Halbert are back with you, continuing to break down the IceDogs 4-2 loss at the hands of the Sudbury Wolves. A late goal by the Wolves, and then plus the empty netter did not allow the IceDogs to get a point on this Teddy Bear toss night. Thank you to everybody tuning in live tonight on our Armchair GM Sports Network YouTube channel. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and smash that bell if you want to see more live content on the YouTube channel, as well as thank you to those listening on your favorite on-demand audio platform on Sunday. So, Cam, before we get to IceDogs head coach Ben Boudreau for his post-game, Andre Loshko, again, continues to be a sneaky good player for the IceDogs. 2 more assists tonight. He continues to add to his point total. And, again, we talk ad nauseum about the great find of him on CHL waivers just before the preseason started. But if they didn't have Andre Loshko down the middle right now, and his chemistry with Kevin He has really developed into something that has become, one of the more dangerous things on the team. We see Zada and Rubrick play together a lot as well. But Andre Loshko, what he's been able to bring in a 200-foot game has just been so key to the IceDogs' early success.
No, absolutely. I don't think they have to start without him, obviously. And again, they just had, it made this season completely different, because when we went into the year, he wasn't a part of the plan, and it wasn't even really part of training camp. And, you expected that the IceDogs would take a bit of a step this year, obviously, and the playoffs were kind of what the focus was in terms of, just getting in. It wasn't, getting in with a high seed. That really wasn't an expectation, honestly, or something that seemed realistic. But he has shot this franchise some life in terms of just a great offensive play as well as defensive. But he's been nothing short of spectacular, and one of the best. I believe he's in the top 10 in scoring right now. So
it was nice to see him go up against his fellow Seattle Kraken draft pick and Carson Rakoff last night in Brampton. That was
and Fibiger, I believe, is also a Seattle Kraken prospect. I believe they have 2.
Okay. But, yeah, they took a couple face-offs against each other, so I'm sure that must have been fun. But the IceDogs currently, at the time of recording this, still second place in the Eastern Conference. But, again, things could change. Kingston's up on them by 1 point. Oshawa and Barrie are breathing down their neck. But, again, we talk about playing 500 hockey here in November. That's what they're going to need to do to continue to, maintain a playoff spot here for the second half of the year. We're 23 games into the season now at a 68. And the IceDogs are right at their 14 wins. They need 3 more to get to tie the amount they had all of last season, and we're only still in November.
No, it's been incredible. I cited that last week, that it took until March to get their 14th win last year. So it's just absurd when you consider the year-over-year change. And again, I think that the Central Division is so difficult. The Brampton Steelheads are in last place right now, and I don't expect that will continue. They're starting to get some. They're very injured right now. We saw that in the game last night, but they also made a big move to get Lefebvre, I believe, from Peterborough. So they're starting to acquire some assets to go and try and right the ship here. But the Eastern Conference as a whole, you really don't want to match up with someone in the Central, I don't think. So we'll have to wait and see. Brantford's starting to win games too. So it'll be interesting. I kind of want to fast forward. I kind of want to fast forward a little bit. I've been itching for a playoff round. So have you, for 5 seasons. And, I think it's a foregone conclusion. Knock on wood, obviously, not anything settled. But, they've just got to, keep floating water. And we said that go 500 in November, and they're right on pace for that, maybe a little bit under, but they've still done quite well.
Let's go to IceDogs head coach Ben Boudreau and the Wild Bills Auto Repair postgame. Brought to you by Wild Bills Auto Repair, helping customers stay safe and confident on the road in Niagara since 2012 in honor of the late William Robert Hunter. Let's hear what the IceDogs head coach had to say following his team's 3-3 week and earning 3 out of 6 points on the weekend.
3 games in 3 nights. What did you think of the effort overall? Because I thought they gave what they had.
Very, very impressed. I mean, if you're ever going to lose and be happy after a loss, I mean, you want to be proud of the effort, and those kids gave everything that they had tonight. So real bittersweet to end like that, a little bit heartbreaking. So you feel for the guys, but they gave everything they had.
For sure. And, what do you try to do in a 3-on-3? Or is there anything you can do to try and make the burden a little bit easier on them?
I mean, as far as what we did today on an off day, we brought everybody in. We made sure to roll out and take care of the bodies. And even for Owen Flores, we had to get an IV injection as far as playing 3-3. He had 100 shots in 24 hours, between those 2 games. Yeah. But, I mean, what can you say? I thought he gave us a chance all the way right down to the end. And a fluke bounce off the skate ends up in the back of the net. And that's why it's a heartbreaker, because everybody just gave what they had. And that's you want to see them get rewarded. And they didn't, but you're very proud of the effort.
Sure. You've won a lot of those games this year, the close games where you got the bounce, right? So is it just maybe sometimes you don't get the bounce, right? Like, you can't get the bounce every game.
No, and, fortunately for us, we got a lot more of these games. And like I said, that one stings. But I think at the end of the day, the one thing you can control is the effort. You can't control the breaks. You can't control the bounces. But the effort, as far as the game plan, very, very proud of the way the kids bounced back there today.
Absolutely. So what's the plan going forward this week? A couple of days off after that?
I mean, it's going to be a day off and we'll get back to work. I mean, the season doesn't stop. The grind doesn't stop. We got to keep going with these guys, and hopefully just another day closer to getting closer to a healthy lineup.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Ideally, it would have been great to have Charlie around. Any closer or still a week, 2 weeks?
He's closer. He's closer. I still don't know when, just because it's those are always, goalie injuries are always kind of funky,
right.
And you don't want to come back too soon and lose him long term. But the second he comes back, we'll take him, and it's the same thing. Paris and Asadorian are finally getting back on the ice, so we know we're just around the corner from returning, almost 2/3 of a top line. So really looking forward to the 19-year-old presence when they get back.
That really would have helped this weekend too, to have that extra line, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely, it'll help. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Pete.
Okay.
Any chance somebody else besides Owen's going to start in net? Before Charlie comes back, just to give him some relief. I mean, if you had to give him IV.
If Owen Flores can play, he's going to play. That's if he can't play, then we'll look at whatever other option that we have. It might be Finn Moffat, it might be Humphreys, really anybody that's with us. But Owen Flores, the way he's playing at 20 years old, I mean, his last year in the OHL, he wants every single minute that he can, and he's been giving us a chance to win. So it's tough to argue with those results. And like I said, if he physically wasn't capable, we would have went with Humphreys today. But getting him an IV, I thought he played great.
Well, Coach, I mean, when you look at that game, low event, like not a lot of shots in the game, but as far as what you saw out there, to me, it looked like a playoff type of game with the way that Sudbury plays. They play a hard-nosed game. You guys didn't back down from them. You've played them already. There's a lot of stuff going on after the whistles. It's a hard team to play against. So are those the situations that you as a coach and you as for the players want to get into more of, knowing that you're going to have these types of battles when you get to playoff time?
Well, I mean, we've been a part of it where Owen Flores has stole the game for us, and I really thought their goalie won it for them. I mean, we had chance after chance out at the end. Rubric, on the forecheck breakaways. I mean, we had a lot of great A's that we could have scored and capitalized and made it easier on ourselves, but their goalie gave them a chance all the way to the end, and they got a lucky bounce. And so, for us, we just got to find a way to keep going.
And did something happen with Max Crete? Didn't see him out there much in that third period. Is that just rookie growing pains?
I think it's rookie growing pains, but it's tough to argue about the guys that were going in a tight game. I mean, they got opportunities to rotate in on that third line. If it wasn't Mason Ray, it would have been Max Crete or Doherty or Levin. But for the most part, they were all taking turns on the third line, where Creeder was going really, really well for us. I think needs to rediscover some form, but that's what happens with 16-year-olds, and got a lot of faith in the guy that it'll get there, and we should be ready to roll again here come next weekend.
In that scenario where you got your first goal and then you have a stoppage for about 5 or 10 minutes, does that kind of change anything from the coaching perspective of trying to get those guys back into the zone and, they're out there having a good time and that with the teddy bears, but then to get them back locked into game mode, is that difficult at all as a coach?
No, we played the exact same way, and it was really fun, to be honest with you. I know I had a lot of family and friends in the crowd there tonight watching the teddy bears rain down on the ice. It's a really special moment, especially being a Niagara resident, so you kind of try to stop and smell the proverbial roses. Really cool moment for us, and I'm glad that we got right back to work. So I was almost upset that the moment ended, because you could see how the community got behind it. Police are on the ice. You got a lot of people, fans. It was a really cool thing, and really stinks on the result of the game, but overall great atmosphere and pretty good game from the kids.
Lastly, how would you assess the weekend there? A win, the shootout loss, and now a tough one here where you guys probably earned a point but didn't get it. So how do you assess the 3 games there, earning 3 of 6, and then as you go into another 3-game week next week?
Yeah, I think the fact that we didn't lose the weekend. 3 out of 6 is split it at the worst. If we split every single weekend from now to the end of the season, we'll still find ourselves in a playoff position, right? So, like I said, small-term goals. The fact that we didn't win, stinks, but the fact that we didn't lose just means that we keep pace, and it's another weekend come and gone, inching closer towards our goal of making the playoffs now. So, I think we're under the 40, or we're getting close to the 40-game mark of what's left on the season here, and for us, we just want to keep cruising. So very, very happy as far as the effort come Thursday night. Same thing with tonight. I thought we had a little bit of a setback on Friday, but again, very proud to be the coach of this team and some great young men inside that dressing room.
Thanks, Coach. See you next week.
Thank you.
There was IceDogs head coach Ben Boudreau on the Wild Bills auto repair postgame. Cam, some encouraging thoughts there and some interesting ones that they had to give goaltender Owen Flores an IV to get him ready to go after facing 100 shots over the first 2 games, and also some positive news on Asadorian and Paris.
Yeah, the Paris one is surprising because we've seen him in a leg brace, just a week ago, so that's great news. It's funny, you when you have players or on your favorite team or the team that you watch, and they kind of go out for 8 to 10 games, you kind of just forget that they're coming back. You almost get that okay, this is the team we have, and you kind of forget about that. Asadorian and Paris on this team makes it it goes from a playoff team to like a contender. You see it, and obviously they've already been playing at a contender level. So I'm just excited. Even the fan in me is just excited to see Asadorian and Paris come back, just because we're going to get a full look at the lineup. And he talked about Max Crete, and I noticed that he didn't really get a lot of ice time tonight. And I think that when he's playing on the first line, and that's awfully tough because Kevin and Loshko, they draw the toughest assignments, and a lot of the time the way that Max plays, he gets hit hard because he's in the corners. He's not afraid to do the dirty work, and he's had a couple of beauty goals where he takes a hit to make a play. But, I think that for his development and just for the team in general, if he could go down to the third line with, let's say, Galyanov and even Zada, because, who knows how the center spot's going to work out. But Zada, who we just mentioned, is creeping up to a point-per-game player, might be the third-line center on this team, and now he's got Max on his wing, and maybe Galyanov on the other side. That's a fantastic third line who's going to go up against other third and fourth lines, and that's where you're going to really see this team kind of take over and have him as a player kind of develop even further, because I don't think that he's in over his head. I just think that he's 16 and he's got to play the toughest opponents, because while Wasslin gets his own line with Robrick and Zada right now, he is a fantastic player, different type of player, very much more east-west, and Max is very just along the boards and play in the dirty areas. So I think that it's going to be much better for his development as a whole. But I did not expect him to talk about Paris being back soon. So that's just great news. I can't wait. I can't wait to see this, because we literally haven't seen this team at full strength since, the Brampton game?
Third game or
fourth game in, because I thought he played at the home opener, but after that was it. Actually, yeah, it was the home opener, because I remember watching him that's 4 games in. Yeah, 4 games in, right? So just going to be really fun to get him back in the lineup. Same with Asadorian, because Asadorian's a guy that his motor's always going, and it's going to be great to see where they slot in.
Yeah, he said some good stuff there as far as getting this team back on track, getting them healthy, and now they're going to get some rest before they play 3 games next week, but the first one's going to be Thursday at home against Guelph, Friday at home versus Flint, and then they get a day off before going to Peterborough on Sunday afternoon. So, again, not quite the 3-3, but they still have 3 games in 4 nights, so it's going to be a must-have type of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to get them rested and get them prepped for next week.
That third game is going to be a battle. So I think that, I hope they get a lot of rest because, I got a feeling that Peterborough is going to give them everything they can handle in that third game.
Yeah, most likely with that and ending the week, too. So that's their last game of the week.
Yeah.
So we'll see how the IceDogs are next week. But as far as getting through the rest of this, we've got our IceDogs feature player interview tonight, brought to you by Cully's Original Sports Bar, proud supporter of Niagara IceDogs hockey. Whether you're gearing up for the game or celebrating a big win, Cully's is the place to be before and after every IceDogs matchup. It's a short walk from the Meridian Centre. Cully's, it happens here. And here is our interview with goal scorer for the Teddy Bear toss goal with Jack Brody. No, I did not fall on the ice, so that was a good thing. And it was a short interview as he was obviously busy during the game, and then I had to go take the picture as well. So here's my quick chat with Jack Brody initially after scoring the Teddy Bear toss goal for the Niagara IceDogs. Here with the Teddy Bear toss goal scorer, Jack Brody. Jack, you guys took a whole period to do it, but to finally get on the board there, just how excited was that for you guys?
Yeah, it's more important about this game. Obviously it's a cool game, but we're focused on all 3 periods here, not just this moment, but it's going to get this first goal here, and we're going to keep going.
How does it, when you have a stoppage of play like this, you probably played in a few of these, how does this change your mentality of, having to stop and do this for a couple of minutes and then get right back into game mode?
Yeah, you don't want it to distract you. Just stay focused, right? We're here for a reason, and that's to win this game.
Was there any bragging rights on who was going to get this in the room, anything new, or were you guys just dialed in?
I told myself I thought I was going to get it, but that's what probably every guy thought, so I don't know.
Just talk about how cool of a moment this is. Maybe one day you'll look back on how cool it is to score in a Teddy Bear toss game and for a great charity.
Absolutely. It's something you dream of. I think I'm missing a photo here, so
okay,
I might.
There was IceDogs defenseman Jack Brody there. Had to cut it short going for the team photo, but talked to quickly there. It's just a cool moment to score in a Teddy Bear toss goal game like that, and he was saying before the game he wanted to get it, so at least he was confident in that.
You could tell early on that everyone was kind of shooting, and again it was I definitely one of the more fun moments because regardless of the team's standing or the last couple of years have been really rough for Niagara, but I remember both of those games everyone is just in a great mood. It's the closest thing to a playoff type atmosphere that you're going to get in a regular season, and awesome for these guys. And like I said, when I saw that, it just made me think, my goodness, I can't wait for the playoffs because these guys are all having a blast, and this is such a good cause. It's like I said, one of the most fun games to be at as a fan as well. So great job, and I'm glad that he made me look smart by being the goal scorer.
Yeah, he made you look good on this night, and got to tip my cap to you on that. But a great cause here in front of the Meridian Centre, and glad Jack Brody was able to get it done. But before we get out of here, we're going to put Cam on the spot, as always, with our stick tap of the game, brought to you by Hockey Stick Man. Pro Stock hockey sticks for major junior teams right up to NHL teams for half the retail price. A stress-free shopping experience from start to finish. Check them out at hockeystickman.ca to join their mission of saving hockey families money. Cam, where are you going with tonight?
Honestly, the whole team. Great job. Best effort that we've seen probably, in a long time when you consider that it was 3-3. Flores just played, 3 incredible games. He stole a point from Brampton by himself, in all honesty. That game doesn't get to overtime without, or a shootout without him. I thought that the whole decor, Van Vliet specifically, had a great job. Man, he's just so quietly extremely physical. I don't know how else to describe it.
He hits you and laughs.
Exactly, and there's scrums afterwards, and he's so big, but you never see emotion out of him, and then even when he skates, it's not super fast and deliberate, and then he hammers people. He was so physical, and Virgilio was great.
Yeah,
I thought
he
that
stood out to me tonight.
Exactly,
Virgilio.
Yeah, very physical. He's more of a just bowling ball kind of player, and and then again, the power play. It was just very fun. This was a great game. It was sad, much like what head coach Ben Boudreau said, that he's not even upset at an effort like that, and I have to agree. Even in the loss, it was unfortunate, but given all the circumstances and the performance they put on, great job, and this was a very, very fun game to watch.
Loshko 2 assists. Rubrick got an assist to continue his point pace, and then Kevin He also with a goal for the IceDogs. But I think the D-Corps tonight really, had to be on their best with some of those elite Sudbury forwards, and I really liked Van Vliet's game. Obviously, he's got familiarity with those guys. Played with Sudbury last year. You could tell that he was trading a little bit of paint with his former guys.
Absolutely, and I think you're always going to see that, especially in the OHL. And like I mentioned, the foreshadowing for next week, I think that we'll probably see some some stick taps and things like that heading into next week.
Well, Cam, that's going to wrap it up for our post-game show. We'll be back here next Thursday and next Friday, Black Friday for our American listeners there for Thanksgiving. So they got Guelph and Flint Thursday, Friday.
Big games as well. You got to have that one against Guelph.
Absolutely. So that's going to wrap up another Niagara IceDogs game recap right here on the Dog Pound Podcast, the official podcast of your Niagara IceDogs, proudly brought to you by Global Pet Foods, where pets are undeniably part of the family in all 4 of their great Niagara region locations. Sudbury Wolves 4, Niagara IceDogs 2 here on Teddy Bear Toss Night at the Meridian Centre in front of 3,927. Thank you to everybody tuned in live on our live stream on YouTube and those listening the next day in your favorite on-demand audio platform. For Cam Halbert, my name is Brandon Caputo. That's going to wrap it up, and we'll talk to you again following next Thursday's game against the Guelph Storm. Have a great rest of your weekend.